That's him spray painting the side of a mosque.
Row of Life, Tuesday 9:30.
Accuser of their father, the devil.
I'm whiter than Hitler. But basically one night I masturbated in your bed.
The series that will send you to hell on a double DVD collector's edition. Over an hour and a half of bonus footage, the uncensored Roe fatwa story, and a Bible full of bonus exorcism scenes. John Safran versus God, the double DVD, out now.
You're walking flypaper for demons.
Bob, can I say you provided me with my favourite moment this year?
Oh, that's nice. What was that?
That was last week when we were at your church and a journalist was there from Leader Newspapers, was she?
Yes, that woman.
And, you know, you were there kind of trying to give this great PR job of, you know, the Catholic
Church. I was tired and worn out.
The Catholic Church, how great is the modern,
sensitive New Age Catholicism.
And you're talking also about how great your organisations are, like, you know...
Open Family, looks after the street kids, Emerald Hill Mission.
And then it looked like, oh, how perfect is this? Because one of your former... clients? Is that what you call someone who was in Open Family or what?
Yes, friends.
Yeah, one of your little friends approaches and you're like, you know, because you're doing the PR thing for the phone, go, oh, hello, how are you? And he was like, no, not good, Bob. Not good, Bob.
Oh, my friend, yes, Michael.
And then, you know what he said next? Then somehow he leads into how Jews are the cancer of the world.
Like that.
In front of the woman, like making you look like... In fact, you just harbour anti-Semites, and you possibly...
As though I ran a little school and taught all these people to hate the Jews.
That was
terrible. Very bad luck, that.
It was bad luck, because it was in front of the Leader newspaper woman
exactly.
who you were trying to give this PR spin, and in front of me, who was a Jew.
Yeah, Mick wasn't too well that day.
Thank you, Father Bob. Bob, for the first time in my life on the weekend, someone offered me heroin. And don't worry, I said no. But then when I was going away, I was thinking to myself, in my entire life, I've never heard anyone talk up heroin. And with heroin, you get people going, well, you know, like it should be legalised to make it clean. Or you get people going, well, people have a theoretical right to take it, all right. But I've never actually heard anyone go, well, you know, what's the good thing about heroin? And I thought there must be someone out there who can tell us. Who have we got here?
So fortunately, we've got Sione Crawford, who's an advocate for heroin users.
That's right. Can you please tell me, what's the good thing about heroin?
Okay, fundamentally, in my opinion, the good thing about heroin is that it's fun to take, just like any other drug, really. It has a subtly different effect from many drugs, but as with most other substances, the good thing about it is the feeling that you get whilst you're on it.
And you think it's just maybe the equivalent of like someone who drinks red wine kind of all the time, or someone who smokes dope occasionally?
I think in itself and fundamentally, yeah, there's no reason for it to be, in my opinion, treated any differently from any other substance, except that there are numerous things around it that...
Well, I guess we can get onto that. Now we see druggies on the street all the time in their tracksuit pants. Are you saying there's this whole other kind of unspoken functional heroin scene, for want of a better word, where there's just like doctors and lawyers and teachers taking heroin and just living normal lives?
Absolutely, yep, there is. And I think, like you said, for want of a better word, I think another word would be networks. Probably of heroin users that live a so-called straight life, and whether it's on the weekends or in the evenings, do use a little bit of heroin, or some kind of opiate.
The old days we talked about a cap, didn't we? In the old days, a cap, to get a cap on the street. Now, my advice is that now it costs $50 to get 0.1 a gram, which is about a cap.
That's right.
That's still, you have to be employed, you have to almost be settled, almost, to be a user.
It's more than a 9 to 5 job, but it's certainly a full-time occupation when you're going for it, and actually there's a lot of hard work involved. I mean, I know that that's going to make a lot of people laugh, but if you take your preconceptions of people doing crime out of it, but just imagine having to generate that amount of money through fair means and then get the connections and, actually find time
But to you,
use
it's worth it. There's a split screen. We need a split screen so that everybody knows that we're talking about a special group of people who can afford and who can manage the health issues involved.
If I was out with my friends and one of them I saw was like taking an E, I'd kind of...
Yeah, but it's different.
I'd put it in a context, I'd go, okay, that's...
Yeah, but you think
whatever.
all the drugs
But
are
if
the
one of
same.
my friends... If one of my friends...
Shouts, he needs heroin.
If one of my friends told me they were taking heroin, I'd look at them differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd judge them and I'd be concerned. Is there something wrong with my attitude that I should change?
I think so. I think that that's an understandable attitude, though, at the same time. Firstly, because it's been informed by the cliches and stereotypes that surround heroin, and more particularly heroin users and the street-based users. The stereotype of a heroin user, even beyond a street user, is someone that's probably going to nod off and go to sleep and wants to hang out in their bedroom alone in the dark, which is not strictly true either. Because with anything, there are degrees of use, and there are degrees of managing the use as well.
You're a big talker, but I happen to know you have younger brothers. Would you be happy for them to take heroin?
I would not have a problem with any of them taking heroin, but I hasten to add I would not like them to get a heroin habit or to, in this current climate particularly, have to live that life that we're talking about, the street life particularly. However, and everyone is different, and some people are able to use occasionally and some people enjoy it so much that they go back again and again and again. Wouldn't like them to get to that point, but all things being equal, I would have no problem with them using heroin.
When did your love affair start
with this? Particularly if they smoked it. Sorry.
Yeah, particularly if they smoked it.
I'm a fairly clean living guy, but I just do the occasional crazy thing here and there. Should I take heroin?
I'd say why not, personally, and that is, I mean that. Think about why not, and also think about why. I'd say okay, but I don't want. I'd hate you to get into the position that I was talking about with my brothers.
Thank you very much for joining us.
It's fine. Thank you.
Bob, should I take heroin?
No.
Good.
You don't need anything. You're already on the boil. And you can already come down from the boil. I would say that you au naturel.
Can we please have an anti-heroin conversation? Because there are...
We can have that, my son, after 25 years in the field.
This actually isn't for the television audience. The television audience can go off now and boil their spoons or make a cup of coffee now. This is just because, for the sake of getting the show through the SBS, we're going to have a counterpoint conversation.
Yeah, and to get through...
And it's going to be quite dull because it's just going to be addressing everything that everyone knows, like... Probably taking heroin isn't a good thing, and you might die.
Yeah, but there's that.
And you're not going to end up being good looking like Ewan McGregor in Train Spotting.
Did you listen to Dione?
Yes.
He said there are two, and I pushed him on the point.
Just say something anti-heroin so we can get this through the SBS people.
Heroin should be decriminalised.
Well, that's sort of pro-heroin.
No, but I mean, that's not culturally
Bob, do you
favoured.
even understand what I'm saying? This is a conversation where we have to be counterpoint to balance out the fact that we had a pro-heroin person here to get it through the SBS, so it doesn't look like we're on television encouraging people to take heroin.
Intellectually, we have to be rigorous and say there are some people who can do it. The vast majority will be sucked into the criminal justice system and spend the rest of their lives chasing the dragon.
Bob doesn't understand.
It's wrong. I understand what you're saying.
Don't do heroin. You won't end up having a fun time like in Train Spotting. You'll just end up sort of like at some train station in tracksuit pants. Bob, this is your last chance. Say something anti-heroin so we can get this through SBS.
My advice to you listeners, ladies and gentlemen, especially the younger members of our watching audience, get high on life. Be in it. Don't waste your energy chasing the dragon. Except with Narnia in the wardrobe.
Thank you, Father Bob. I used to be a cub, and we often would
Dob,
go
dob, dob,
camping.
dib, 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 all of
and
that.
we'd often go camping, and we'd be lying there in sleeping bags, and there'd be owls, and I'd be freaked out by these owls. And I always thought that was I just took it on face value. I'm scared of owls. But then I read this book, Awakening: How Extraterrestrial Contact Can Transform Your Life, and they gave me a new insight into why I may be scared of owls. Can you please introduce our guest?
Yes, Mary. We've got Mary Rodwell, who's counselled over 1,000 alien abductees, and Rochelle Delia, a former client of Mary's. Welcome, ladies.
Now, Mary, you say if people have a fear of clowns, Father Christmas, owls, spiders, large insects, cats or wolves, they might actually be alien abductees.
Well, I would say people who have contact with non-human beings, yes, absolutely. And it's a screen memory often can be a screen memory for these particular beings. They present themselves in that way. But what seems to happen is that when you take them to that experience, they will often see beyond the clown to seeing it's actually a little grey being or something like that. So it's a screen memory. It's like they're tricking you into seeing something normal when in fact it's them.
And you take it to another level where you say that some people have memories of child abuse might actually have been alien abductees.
Yeah, the research seems to say that 5% of those that believe they've been abused as a child, it's actually an experience they've had where they've been on board a ship and procedures have been done.
Now, when you're counselling people, doesn't that get into kind of dangerous territory, going on that hot button issue of child abuse?
Oh, I think it covers so many things with this. The bottom line is that without even knowing it, I've actually helped people with child abuse issues, and they've seen themselves, instead of being abused by what they thought was either Uncle Joe or something, they're actually up on a craft and there are procedures being done.
Now, Rochelle, you went to seek help from Mary. How did you end up going to her?
I had a friend that introduced me to Mary, and I'd actually had a series of quite unexplainable events that happened. I'd have things going on with my electrical equipment, like my clock radio would turn on in the night. It would just switch itself on even though it wasn't plugged in. I would wake up with marks on my body and on my hands and around my face. They'd be like incisions, but often unusual shapes.
And you learnt a healing technique through your alien experience. How did that happen?
It happened one night. I went outside of my house. Again, I woke up at about 3:30 in the morning, went outside. I felt energy surging through me, and I felt as if needles were being poked through my eyes and through my fingertips, cool air on my fingertips and my lips, energy around my body. Then I felt drawn to go lie down on my bed, and then I performed like a surgery, I guess, on myself, which I'd never performed before. It took about 4 hours to complete, where I was accessing all parts of my body.
So you're gonna show on me what this kind of healing technique is?
Yeah, sure, John.
Okay.
Not going to do it to me.
No, it's too dangerous. You're 71.
I might be lucky. Okay, so basically I work usually away from the body. So I'll use some sound as well, because...
Do I close my eyes, or...?
You can if you like. You can just be however you want to be. Okay. So I'm just bringing in new frequencies, which a lot of the star children are bringing in these days. Everything's made up of frequencies, so I'm just working with these new ones. So... So pretty much I've just been working with...
I did feel a vibration when you touched me there.
Yeah.
She didn't touch you there.
I'm trying not to touch you in any places that, we can't show on television.
Oh,
so what were you saying? Was that like channeling alien talk, or... and do you know what that language was?
Those ones were high vibrations that are quite difficult to translate into English. The ones that are closer in frequency to ours are easier to translate, but it's kind of like transferring blocks of information within a millisecond. So it's as if there's a huge chunk of information that's translated, which will then open you up to new aspects of yourself and, bring you in touch with other energies that will help you fulfill your life's purpose a bit more.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you very much.
That's okay.
Bob, what did you think of those people?
I don't. Same as horse whisperers and channelers. They're all dipping their toe into an everlasting.
Imagine if you're a horse whisperer watching this show now, right? Because that's like a legitimate. That's not like
horse whispering.
Horse whisperers would be frigging annoyed watching the show now, going, "You're chucking them into the same barrel as goddamn alien watchers."
That's all right. These people are putting their ear to the cosmos, the same as the horse whisperer puts his bloody ear to the horse.
Horse whispering horse whispering isn't based on sort of like ethereal kind of speculation.
It is. What's it based on?
It's based on
human
science.
Beings talking to horses. Don't be ridiculous.
I never thought this was going to be the thing that we're going to break up over, horse whispering, but there you go. Bob, who do we have this week?
This week we've got Antonija Momcilovic, who's a gay Serbian Orthodox.
Question.
What are the distinctive features of the Serbian Orthodox Church?
Well, the one that I was brought up going to, ornate pictures on the ceiling, Christ, obviously.
But is there anything theologically distinct about it compared with, like, just say,
Roman
Bob's
Church.
crap religion?
Well, it's
The
obviously
Roman Orthodox Church.
it's very related to the Roman Orthodox. It's a offshoot of it, I suppose. But the Serbs, being the Serbs, want to do their own thing. And
And have you come out to your local Serbian Orthodox priest?
I haven't.
So was that have or haven't?
I haven't. Mainly because
But we're
of
on
fear.
the television.
Of
Father.
Of fear, I think, and also because he speaks Serbian and I don't.
So he won't understand what we're saying tonight anyway. Is it important to your family to have a Serbian Orthodox partner?
I think it would be.
But your family knows that you are the same gender.
You can say
specific.
gay.
I'm not going to say gay because I come from the old days. We used to sing.
Homosexual.
No, when we were young and gay.
Oh,
You
okay.
told me you loved me when we were... See, that's what I don't like, that gay thing. Because
I don't like it either. I hate the word G-A-Y.
Well, what do you prefer?
I just like...
homosexual.
I
Because
just like the
it's-
company of other men.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
Not all men, but...
Well, let's get back to the chase here. Not of the men, but is it important to your family to have, for you, to have a Serbian Orthodox relationship?
It's probably not important for my mother and father, but I think it's important for me because I want to know that there's someone, not exactly the same, but very similar in belief and you know, like that movie Head On with Alex Dimitriadis, you know, it's hard sometimes being ethnic and also gay at the same time. So I just want to know whether there's other Serb Orthodox gay men out there.
And do they have to be like religious to an extent, or can they just incidentally be Serbian Orthodox?
They can incidentally be Serbian Orthodox, but I'm interested in maybe learning from someone who's more religious than I am. So to take, you know,
Maybe a clergyman.
that'd be a bit risque, wouldn't it?
Don't look at me, mate. Don't look at me. What are you looking for in a relationship?
I'm looking for someone who is intelligent, who can hold a conversation, who's attractive. If
Okay,
possible.
you're out. You're out, Bob.
That's the end of that, thank God.
Yeah, and also in between, you know, 25 and 35. I don't want them too old.
Let's see, I'm out again. Go on. Twice bumped.
But just someone who makes me laugh and is not egotistical and you know.
Three times
Three
out.
times. If you wish, ladies and gentlemen, to get in touch with our friend here, Antonija Momcilovic.
But you have to be a gay Serbian Orthodox or whatever.
I can't say that because my church police may well say that I am aiding and abetting a relationship that they, the church police, consider to be not on. So with due respect, I still say get in touch with mailbox at speakingintongues.com.au or Post Office Box 434, Prahran, Victoria 3181. Thank you, Antonija Momcilovic.
Thank you, Bob.
John, what have we got on the billboard list?
From Carla via email. Hungry, grab a pious sauce inside.
I know, you don't have to explain everything to me.
That's okay, isn't it?
It's down to earth, it's gutsy. Pie
It's
and
Aussie.
sauce. It's Aussie, oi, oi, oi. Go on.
Alec with a K via email. Come in, say hello to him.
Help.
It's Elohim. You know
Oh,
what?
Elohim.
Elohim.
Oh,
One of the secret names of God.
in your Hebrew.
Yes.
Secret no longer, mate.
No.
Up on the billboard, maybe.
Well, the Kabbalah rabbis watching our show are going to be going, Safran,
Madonna.
Safran,
Madonna-
why'd you tell them one of the
Madonna in
secret
the-
names of God? From Keith Hensel, am I ever going to see your face again?
Thanks, Keith.
No, that's a good Aussie one because it's a reference to the Angels song, Am I Ever Going to See Your Face Again?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, put him back in. Keith, you're back in, mate, for 5 seconds.
The kids will like it. Well, not the kids, really.
Yeah, what
Just
kids?
the decrepit old people who used to be
Yeah,
kids.
well,
who,
I never
know
heard of
the
it. Go
Angels
on.
now.
Number 4.
Sam Loveridge, get in here now, you fat, arrogant loser.
Is there some hidden LOE message behind that, or is it just straight out gross? So this is the new, is it? This is the new billboard for the second half in the series is going to be gross, grunge.
I don't know. It doesn't appear. I've taken it to several Kabbalah rabbis to try to untangle some hidden message in it, but it's not. It's just
Get that bloke
in
in to
here
talk
now,
backwards.
you fat, arrogant loser.
Go back to number 1, it's nice.
Hungry, grab a pious sauce inside. Well done, Carla.
Yeah, messy and all as it is, at least it's honest messy.
Bob, if people have a billboard for you,
Mailbox at speakingintongues.com.au or Post Office Box 434 Prahran, Victoria 3181.
thank you, Father Bob.
Thank you, Sport.
Bob, when you're in a position like mine, it gets all confusing of what's real and what isn't real. I want to know, are we like friends in the real world?
Oh, God, what is this show?
Well, I just want to know.
Sex in the City or something?
I just want to know if we're friends in the real world or we just like get together
This
on
is
this
fantasy.
show.
This is the Truman Show.
But like, okay, so let's say when this show wraps up in
good
4
night,
weeks'
I'm off.
time, like,
I'm off.
will we be ever? Can I drop on in?
No, because I'm going back to reality. You'll be going sniffing along the trail of, the yellow brick road or something.
I'm a bit hurt by the reason I want to clarify this is because I always get confused. Like I once went on Fox FM, right? And Tracy Bartram, she was like interviewing me, and she was like, "Oh, I love you." When the mics are on, I love you, John. I love you, and stuff like that. And I felt
your
like
work.
Yeah. Then the
that's when the
microphones went
truth
off,
comes out. And what
she
happened
wouldn't
then?
talk to me.
No, because she's a professional. She's an actor, the same as you are.
So is that the same? We just have no relationship outside this show?
No, because I told you that when I signed the document that was going to be presented to me 8 weeks ago. You're the actor.
Yes.
I'm the activist.
Can you stop with that one? It's
No,
really big.
because I've got to
should-
answer to this every night as I kneel down beside my bed
Yes.
with my dog who's down saying his prayers too. And I say, dear God, forgive me for what I'm going to go through tomorrow. That's before I come here. Because I don't want to turn into an actor. I want to be an activist.
I don't know.
Now, if you want to be an activist, you do. You wouldn't understand if it fell on your head.
Stop kind of messing things up. It's quite a simple question. Are you my friend
No.
outside the context of this
Simple.
show? You're serious. But how come I don't, even this, I don't know whether you're just doing that for a laugh or
No,
you're actually serious. You're not my friend outside of this
If
show.
I was an actor, I would tell you what you wanted to hear. I'm telling you the truth, but you can't stand the truth.
You're right, I can't stand the truth. You see, this is really played with my emotions. I thought, yeah, sure, we get to hear once a week. We get together once a week. But I thought we had something going even when the cameras were off. You're saying I'm wrong.
I'm saying that we're acquaintances, and for the purposes of this exercise, we are collaborators in art.
Do you even like
You'll have to do better than this.
Do you even like me, or is this just some cynical relationship where you're like, oh yeah, if I kind of smile around John and I get on the show, I can pitch Catholicism?
I've never smiled around the show yet. That's supposed to be my
do you even
trademark.
like me?
Like is different
Like is different to what?
to friend.
So do you-
Like is pretty low down the level. Like is pheromones and things.
Well-
Do I like the smell of you, the sight of you, the shape, all of those little primitive things, you see? And what I'm seeing before me now, ladies and gentlemen, I do not like.
Thank you, Father Bob.
What are friends for but to tell the truth? Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.
Goodbye, Bob.
Goodbye, John, my friend.